In the previous session, we looked at verses 9 and 10, where Krishna, the Master, explained that freedom comes when action is no longer driven by attachment, fear, and anger. Those verses focused on refining the inner condition of an action. Today, verse 11 adds another layer. Krishna, the Master, explains that the way people approach the divine or reality determines the way they experience the divine. This verse is not about favoritism. It describes a structural principle of spiritual life. Recognition follows orientation. Before chanting, let us study the mind. When attention becomes quieter, the teaching becomes easier to recognize. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahaihi Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahaihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Ye yatham mam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham. Mama vartmanu vartante manusyah partha sarvashaha. Ye yatham mam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham. Mama vartmanu vartante manusyah partha sarvashaha. Krishna, the Master, says, as people approach me, I meet them accordingly. This is not a promise of reward. It describes how recognition works. People approach the divine or the reality with different intentions. Some seek protection, some seek comfort, some seek success, some seek understanding. Each approach reveals a different layer of the teaching. The teaching itself does not change, but what we are able to recognize changes. Think of sunlight. The sun shines equally everywhere, but a window, a mirror, and a closed door experience that light differently. Similarly, the orientation of the seeker determines the depth of recognition. This is why the Gita repeatedly emphasizes clarity of intention. Our seeking gradually matures. Many begin with a prayer for relief. Later, the question becomes deeper. What is the nature of reality itself? Let's take an example. Consider education. A student may enter a classroom with different motivations. One student studies only to pass the exam. Another studies to understand the subject. Both attend the same class, but their recognition of the knowledge will be very different. The teaching was the same. The orientation of the learner was different. The Gita is pointing to the same principle. In fact, Kabir expressed this simply. Jaisa bhava Vaisa Bhagwan. As the inner orientation, so the experience of the divine or reality. The divine is not changing. Our recognition is changing. So, how do we apply this teaching? The Gita does not ask us to suddenly change our starting point. Every seeker begins somewhere, but it asks us to observe the orientation of our seeking. When turning towards spiritual practice, ask quietly, what am I actually seeking? Relief from difficulty, emotional reassurance, success in life, or clarity about reality. All are valid starting points, but they lead to different depths. All are valid starting points, but they lead to different depths. This is where Karma Yoga becomes important. Perform responsibilities steadily. Reduce constant demand for outcomes. Let action become disciplined participation rather than anxious control. As agitation reduces, something interesting happens. The orientation of seeking begins to refine. Instead of asking, how do I control life? The question becomes, what is the truth of life? At this stage, a deeper question quietly appears. Who is the one seeking the divine? Is it the restless identity shaped by success and failure, or the awareness within which all these experiences appear? The Gita does not force an answer, it allows this inquiry to mature naturally. As we close, today's verse 11 reminds us of a simple but profound principle. Truth does not change, but recognition deepens as orientation matures. So the task is not to force spiritual experiences. The task is to refine how we seek, act responsibly, stabilize the mind, allow intention to become clearer. Then the same teaching reveals deeper meaning over time. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Swadhyaya Pravachanabhyam Na Pramaditavyam Om Tat Sat.